Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran, and yes, welcome back to a brand new episode of Creating Your Own. I know, it's been a while, I'm so sorry about this, but yeah, it was like, as you notice now, the layout of the video is a wee bit different. As you can tell, we have the banner down at the bottom there, fantastic. We don't have the pop figures or the table or anything like that, or the burning zombie incense holder. To be fair, that whole setup, it was like, that was when I had room in my room, and I had enough space to set all that up, which in this case, I don't actually have that space, and that's why it took me so long to make the episode, because I could never get everything set up like the way I wanted. So that's why I was like, you know, I'll hold off, I'll wait until I get enough space in my room, and I just didn't get enough space, because there's a bunch of fucking shit in here, like, for my short film, so couldn't do it. But yes, I am finally back, fantastic, because this game that I'm going to present is something special, it's something cool, it's something fantastic, and I cannot wait to show it to you guys. I just loved working on the script of this video because it involves a genre that I hold near and dear to my heart. It is fantastic, it allows you to become whatever kind of person you want. You can be a normal everyday guy in real life, but in these sort of games you are whoever you want to be. And that genre is the role-playing game. From a young age, I was actually creating my own, like, role-playing adventures and games that weren't even, like, role-playing games, they're more like sandbox, so, like, fucking GTA San Andreas, Warcraft 3, and even Civilization. So you can imagine how I felt when I finally dived into the world of, like, actual RPGs. My first major one from memory was Fallout 3. The memory, like, I remember getting that game, and I said it like throughout many streams as well, I remember getting that game on disc and then looking at the back cover and I'm like, this is a horror game, my mum knows I like horror games, thank you mother. And so when I put it in I was like, oh, this is going to be fucking scary, and it turned out it wasn't. Turned out it was going to be one of my favourite games of all time, and a game that I will hold near and dear to my heart throughout my entire fucking life. And I want to create that sort of experience for someone else, because I have so many role-playing ideas in my head that I just want to get out there. But from there, I played games like fucking Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, Oblivion, World of Warcraft, Dragon Age, all these sort of games I started playing because of Fallout 3. And I actually, you know, got access to Google, so I could Google role-playing genre. So when I was growing up, I started finding myself creating my own worlds, creating my own stories, and all these stories inspired by these sort of titles. One of these many worlds lurking inside my head, and like I've said in previous videos, I have a ton. One of these worlds that I just couldn't shake and I always developed in my head was Mysterian. Our story takes place on the planet Mysterian, more specifically in the country of Alban. The events of the game takes place years after a devastating apocalyptic event shook the world, destroying lands and crumbling civilizations. This apocalyptic event was Ragnarok. The land of Alban is divided by numerous clans that seek to take the throne of Alban for themselves, after Ragnarok caused the deaths of the previous leadership. The real story begins in a safe, lonely village outside of any clan's territory, and follows an unnamed protagonist who is the son of a farmer. Or, you know, so it seems. It begins as our character awakens in the village and takes on small tasks around the town. Our character at this point has like a determined job depending on what the player character chose in the character creation screen, much like in Cyberpunk 2077, where you know you can determine your past. The prologue's duration lasts for about an hour as the player grows in attachment to the character's friends and family, and it actually is a lot like the opening hours of Kingdom Come Deliverance. But as we all know, peace never lasts for too long. The character awakens during the night by a loud thunderous storm, with lightning striking down on houses. You are told by your neighbours that the village is under attack, and that your parents are up the hill in the town hall. Quickly dashing through the village, you make your way to the town hall, where you witness your father brutally struck down and tortured by a large Nordic-looking man. It is here when it's revealed that your father is actually the god Modi, one of the sons of Thor, and the man beating him down is no other than Magni. his brother. After the events of Ragnarok and the death of Thor, the brothers fought over who should wield Thor's hammer Mjolnir. But when Modi remembers what power comes with the hammer, he takes it and hides it somewhere in Albin, where no man would find it. Magni, consumed with rage and lust for power, spent the following years hunting down Modi and the hammer, while the latter spent his life disguised as a normal peasant farmer and had a family. Back to the current day events, the player character basically discovers he is a demigod and is forced to escape the village after his father, Modi, is killed by his dear uncle Magni. Yeah, so I know that was only the beginning of the story, but it's going to all unfold into this big, magnificent fucking event, and it's absolutely fantastic. But you know, that was kind of like a long explanation of the opening hours of the game there, or the opening hour of the game there, but I had to explain it to set up the world. Anyway, from here the player can go anywhere and do anything, with the main story being, you know, learning how to harness and control your godlike abilities, and gather forces around Albin to help you stop Magni from finding the hammer. The quest to stop Magni involves a lot of choice and consequence, as you pick and choose what factions you want to join, what clans you decide to help, and who eventually ends up on the Albin throne. I honestly love the story of this game, mainly because like it's kind of inspired by like the things like God of War, Oblivion, and of course Fallout, but also TV shows like Game of Thrones and Vikings. Looking around the world of Albin, you could definitely see my love for Scottish landscapes and history come to life, with the factions being very similar to that of Scottish clans, and some locations being variations of Glencoe, Loch Ness, and Ben Lomond. Also, my love for Nordic mythology can definitely be seen here in the game as well. The overall goal of the story is to like gather enough support from the clans to take down Magni. What this results in entirely depends on your choices. Basically, there is a final massive battle, and the entire scale of that battle entirely depends on you. If you didn't get the support you need, well, the battle is going to be tinier, the Magni's forces are going to be larger than yours, and you might lose the battle and get the bad ending. Actually, this does kind of remind me of like the Battle of Hoover Dam in New Vegas, whereas like you basically had to, if you sided with the NCR, you had to go get the support of the Brotherhood of Steel, you could get the support of the Enclave, you had to go get the support of Boomers, Great Khans and all that. So that was kind of fun. By the way, I'm so sorry for like the jump cuts here every time like I end a sentence. I'm not really used to like talking on camera and reading the script, because I have a massive script here, and I'm not really used to like not looking into the camera and then speaking like this. I'm usually, every time I do like a webcam sort of video, I'm usually just kind of speaking at the heart. But right now, it's because I'm reading the script, that's why for the jump cuts, I apologise for that. So that was the story of Mysterian, and I could spend so much more time on the story, but we need to get into the gameplay, because the gameplay is fucking magnificent. Just saying, it's quite nice, it's quite saucy, I like it, let's get into it. Oh man, so this section actually took me a while to actually write, because I was never too sure what I wanted in terms of gameplay, but I think I kind of got it nailed down. So Mysterian is a first third-person action RPG that is set in a brand new open world. Now, what I wanted to focus on here is the open world aspect. You see, I really don't like the completely massive, expansive open worlds that much, because like sometimes it's more or less a chore just to go around and explore, because the developers are like, yeah, let's make this massive open world, and usually kind of forget to fill that world with interesting locations and things to do. A quote I really want to go by here, and I actually forgot who first said it, but in terms of open world, you really want the player to find something new every 1 or 2 minutes. Sort of when you leave Vault 101 for the first time, it takes like a minute to reach that new and next interesting location, that being Megaton. This game being an RPG, especially one that resembles the like of BGS games and Kingdom Come, I want to have the player completely immersed in the world. So I want every NPC able to be spoken to and actually have a decent conversation with, except of just, you know, having, hey, what is the latest rumour? So each character you'll encounter in the world will have their own purpose and their own stories, and you know, they're just unique. Dialogue will work very similar to that of New Vegas, because I feel like that game probably has one of the best dialogue systems in RPGs. A simple box where the player can ask their questions and start conversations, and it won't just be, you know, 1 or 2 options like in Fallout 4. Speech will be a skill you can upgrade in the game, which the more you do unlocks more dialogue options and pass skill checks with NPCs for quests. I also wanted to add in like a pure alcohol system, because like in games, especially RPGs, you do have alcohol here, and then like when you drink it, you're like dizzy, and you're like, oh. I wanted that to affect the dialogue in the world around you. So when you get drunk, which kind of doesn't really make sense because you're the demigod, but you know demigods can get drunk. So when you get drunk in this game, you can go and you can talk to someone. You can complete an entire quest while drunk, but like when you go up and talk to an NPC, you just have a bunch of weird, just basically Bloodlines Malkavian style choices where you do not make either any sense, or you're just like really weird and you're like, so like the more you drink in the game, the more dumb your character sort of speaks. This is kind of inspired by New Vegas' dumb options if you have a low enough intelligence, but because I don't really have something like the special system in this, I decided to go with something much more funnier. Since in Mysterian we play as a demigod, our character isn't exactly immortal, so they can still die if you're not careful, but what they do have is godlike abilities. Oh yeah, by the way, I also forgot to say this in the video, but or in the script, I mean, but you can have the choice of playing as either a man or a woman. That's just like standard RPG making shit. So after we are told that we are the son of the god Modi, we unlock our inner godlike powers. What are these exactly? Well, that's actually up to you. So I didn't really want to have like a set sort of ability that everyone works towards, like a pyramid sort of thing, where it's like, oh, you can start here, but you'll lead to the same like ultimate godlike power. I wanted to do something kind of different. I wanted the player to have their own choice of godlike ability. So every time the player levels up, you do get 2 points, one for skill and one for something called the God Tree. The God Tree is just what I call it, by the way. It's not actually the said name. I just like to call it the God Tree because, you know, it's just a name. So skill points can be used to upgrade things like speech, lockpick and sneak, you know, the usual, but the other points can be used to work your way to your godlike ability. Imagine like a Borderlands sort of like power tree. See how in Borderlands 1 and 2, and even Borderlands 3 as well, and pre-sequel, you have like, I want to say 4, maybe 3 sets of like columns, each having their own like unique power at the very end. That's what I'm basically going to have for Mysterian. So with the godlike powers, you have about, I want to say 6 or 7 different trees, and you can only complete 2 of those trees. You can't like just have like, unless you mod the game, which, you know, mod support is available in this game. You can like customize everything. Can't do that. What you can do in this game is like, you can only work towards one main power. So I kind of designed it where it's like, you can put certain points into like all the trees technically, but you just can't have more than 2 ultimate power abilities, essentially. Your abilities and how you use them take an effect on your karma and reputation. So basically, don't go around and be like, hey, I'm a god, obey me, and then strike someone down with lightning. Just don't do that, because it'll affect your karma. Yes, there will be a karma system, much like how it is in Fable 2. Your character's physical appearance changes depending on how evil or how good you become. So by the end, you can either look like the Dark Overlord, or, you know, Captain America. Or, you know, there is options to be like in the middle ground, so you can just end up looking like a normal random chap. Just an average Joe. I wanted the gameplay in this game to be fully customizable to the player's likings and the player's role-playing experience. I love open stories and open worlds that let me become essentially anyone I really want to be, and so this game will essentially allow that. Politics is also a major part of the game, as well as you're trying to like gain favours with the clans and figuring out how the hell they can all stand behind you to tackle Magni. Very few clans stand in the realm of like good and evil, since they all have their bad and pleasant sides to them, and it's your job to figure them out and try and work with them. The world is vast, but I didn't want to like make it a massive thing with nothing to do. Along with the main quest, there is a shit ton of side quests to pick up on your travels, with each location have their own personalised quest. Side quests can vary a lot, but one I actually took a note of was one where the player encounters this band of adventurers that are trying to find the Loch Ness Monster, and you're like the bodyguard to them, and also trying to help them piece together this mystery. As you can tell already, I take a lot of inspiration from games I've played in the past, so majority of the time they are all RPGs, like Fable 2 and all that, because, you know, of course, I'm making an RPG, why wouldn't I use all these RPGs as inspiration? One system I loved from Fable 2 is the ability to romance and actually have kids. Not only that, but also the ability to buy a house and even rent it out for like a regular gold income. So in this game I wanted to take it a step further. I said before that you can actually join clans, but for others like myself, I like to build my own sort of thing. I want to have my own sort of faction, so in this game you can do that. So in Mysterian, you can actually take over a patch of land, and form your own clan, and make your own town. Town building aspect will be like Fallout 4's settlement system, but for those who just want to have their own town, and not really bother with the building of each individual piece of building, you can actually hire builders to make a randomly generated bunch of buildings based on, you know, what you want. Making your own clan also creates a quest line, as other clans see you trying to rival them, so there's a lot of like politics and warfare there. But by having your own clan in your own land, you can actually tax whoever stays in that sort of vicinity and whoever stays on your land, and you can tax them however much, kind of like the whole renting system in Fable 2. I also got really ambitious with the whole family thing. So since when you create your own clan, you can get married and stuff like that, but you can also have kids. And so you can also name your heirs to the clan, which, you know, affects the ending of the game. So if you get a sort of goodish ending but your character dies, there's a certain cutscene that plays with your, like, next of kin, your heir getting, like, crowned or something. A thing I said earlier is helping a clan get the throne of Albin, but there is also a very difficult questline where you could possibly achieve this yourself. However, it is insanely difficult. I would sort of say like that is the perfect ending to Mysterian, is getting all the clans to rally us like with you, get the throne of Albin, and also defeat Magni. But you know, like I said, like because of all these clans hating each other, is the quest. You need to be a really focused sort of character. You need to get your skills in check. You need to get your godlike abilities in check. And you need to all have them sort of personalized in a very specific way to get that sort of ending. So it'll be difficult. It'll be very difficult. I'll make sure of it. Mysterian is a huge and totally ambitious RPG that I would love to make one day, but it's a long ways away. It's like, if I ever manage to get my own game studio or something like that, I'll definitely begin working this game. But you know, it's a huge project and it's very, very ambitious. So that was this month's creating our own. I'm so sorry for the delay, but I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I did put a lot of kind of thought and work into the episode, especially this game as well. I had a lot of ideas jotted down in my journal, so it was really fun. But it won't happen again. I'm going to try so hard to make sure that creating our own and chatting with Bundy will be monthly shows. I've already got chatting with Bundy recorded, maybe already be up, I don't know. But yeah, it's like, it's just so hard to try and find the time because I had college and all that. I'm wrapping things up with college, so it's difficult. It's really difficult, so I'm sorry. But since we're going into the summer and I have a lot more free time, I can do all this stuff. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Thank you guys so much for being brilliant patrons. I really do appreciate it. It's just, you guys being Bundicot patrons is so fucking cool, and I love you guys. That's all I can say. You guys are fucking great. I love you so much. So I shall see you next time. Thank you all for watching the video, and I shall see you all later. Bye bye.